This week's episode is sponsored by Zorb Events Limited. They provide Zorb football, battle tag archery, UV dodgeball, sports days events, inflatable assault courses, plus many more activities coming soon. Ideal for sports teams, presentations, birthday parties, stag and hen parties, corporate events, school, and half-term summer camps, any occasions. Give them a follow and use the code The Good, The Bad and The Ugly Podcast for 10% off your first booking. The Good, The Bad and The Ugly Podcast with Tony Morell. Welcome to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly Podcast with me, Tony Morell, and this week's special guests, we've got Sean and Andy Woodward from Elusive Child Protection Unit. I'm really looking forward to you both sharing the good, the bad and the ugly with us. How are we doing, guys?
Alright, cheers Tony, thank you.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
listen,
right.
fellas, I'm really, I'm so appreciative of you both coming on with what you do, and you know, when people are going to find out exactly the fantastic work what you do protecting our children in today's society. You know, I'm very vocal about this type of stuff what goes on within our communities, and you know, it's a scary thing that's going on, and I just want to say thank you for your time this evening, for coming on, and you know, we're going to go a little bit deep, and I'd like you to share exactly what you do. So listen, getting into it, fellas, I just want to start with where you're both from, where you grew up, and family life and stuff. Just start with you, Sean.
Yeah, born and raised in Stockport. Family, bob on, brilliant. Can't say any more. My family are so supportive in what we do today. They always have been supportive. Like I said, born in Stockport, quite a naughty kid, I'll be honest with you. Went through the system, the approved schools, etc. Obviously we can get back to that later on. Obviously some of the stuff that took place in the approved schools when I was a child, obviously now, what I do now is because of that as well. We can talk about that later on, but I'll let you know where I'm from first. Obviously I said Stockport, born and raised. Parents, absolutely bang on. They're fully supportive in what I do now, and they support everything that we do now, stopping these, obviously, monsters in society that are grooming children online.
Right, say with you, and what was yourself, where are you from?
Where do I start now? Yeah, ironically, I'm from Stockport, Chilium. Grew up as great parents. In fact, they were so protective because it's world known anyway. But because of what happened to my mum's sister in Burnage, she was murdered in 1971 by Ronald Burnell. And so they were protective parents. Great. They didn't have much money. Council estate. You know, always playing football, kicking a ball. My dad saw it had a talent in football, so I played for Stockport Boys, and then I was spotted by Barry Manell. Right,
so but obviously we'll speak a little bit about that later on in this episode. So obviously family life, we all grew up on a council estate, normal.
I grew up on the biggest council estates in Stockport, around some of the best people also as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people can relate to growing up on a council estate. Some of the best times growing up, you learn your values and you know stuff like that, and like you say, you had supportive parents, and same with you, Andy, you know. School life, what was school?
As I said before, school life, obviously quite a naughty kid at school, quite clever. Finished my work before a lot more people, play up in the class. Obviously went through, as a kid as well, a bit of bullying, stuff like that took place. Obviously when you go home and tell your mum and dad from the council estate, you know yourself, they tell you how it is. Get back to school and give them a smart back, don't let them treat you like that, and that's the way it's gone forward ever since. So obviously got into school, did that. Obviously not going to play mum and dad, but then started to like a bit of that, then got expelled from school, ended up going to approved schools and put into the approved school system. Went to 2 approved schools. Obviously, as I said before, going through the schools, okay, the schools were brilliant, learned a lot of things in the schools, but some dark, horrible things took place in them schools, not to myself, but it was happening to other children. Obviously, as I said before, other kids were getting groomed in them schools. As you knew, they were getting groomed, obviously like one lad, won't mention his name, we used to be able to smoke in one of the schools. They give you 4 cigarettes a day, as long as your parents sign for it. You can have 4 cigarettes a day. But this lad always seemed to come back. He'd leave the bedroom dorm at night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and he'd come back in quite upset. But he'd have an extra packet of cigs and maybe 4 or 5 chocolate bars or whatever, and we'd share with him. And you could see it in his eyes. Obviously, you didn't think at the time. You think, where's he got them from? You didn't think at the time because children are innocent. We didn't think at the time. But obviously, when you get older, you think, bloody hell, what did that kid have to go through to go and get them cigarettes and then chocolate bars and stuff. So yeah, Like I said, nothing ever happened to myself in school. Obviously, I had very supportive parents. They come on to all the parents' evenings and the visits and stuff. But some of the kids who didn't really have supportive parents, they were the ones that were targeted in school, if you get what I'm saying.
Because they were very vulnerable.
Because they're very vulnerable, yeah. And things did happen and things did take place in them schools. You know what I mean? I see it with my own eyes. One of my other friends seen it with, was sat the other day, was somewhere with Andy, and he said, the guy turned around and said, the stuff him and my daughter seen in the approved schools, they don't speak about it today, obviously, but I've heard of my daughter, what's took place there, etc. And obviously some of the memories that we have from then, obviously probably why we do what we do now also as well, myself as well, yeah.
So that's why you're behind. And yourself, and was you in school?
Yeah, primary school was great, you know. It's ironic, I've gone back to my roots and I've ended up coming back to Cheeley, Stockport, still speak to some of the school friends, and it was brilliant then. Bruntwood School in Cheeley. It was a good school, naming council estate, brilliant friends, and it just, my life changed at the age of 10. So me high school, I was very rarely at school.
Because you were good at football?
Not that, it's because Barry Winnell got me staying there, and he, so basically within a few weeks, it's known everywhere anyway, you know, as the story tells itself, but, you know, my life changed on that day that he asked me to go and stay at his house at Platt Lane, playing for City.
Playing for Man City, and that's that. I would obviously, you know, I mean for our, you know, people who subscribe and watch our channel and stuff, but obviously Barry Winnell was, you know, a football coach. He was highly, you know, it's been in the media, and, you know, he was a man who, you know, took vulnerable children under his wing, and, you know, it's very well documented, and we certainly will get to, you know, and I think it's, you know, what we'll say is what you're doing today. I know we're going from one thing to another, but I think this podcast is going to be very deep, and it's going to be very dark in parts, and what you guys are doing, I can't stress enough, you know, I think it's fantastic what you're doing, and we will get to the bottom of exactly, you know, your story, Andy, as well.
And the thing is as well, it's like, it's ironic really, because you've got both of us. Normally I'm doing it on my own, but what it does show you, it shows you that it doesn't matter what industry it is, it's that position of power and position of trust. So like Sean was saying there, in the schools, you know, I'm talking about football and sport, but it's any industry, and it shows you that child, that vulnerable child, that life is
being
defined,
manipulated,
defined by that,
by an adult, and you think an adult should be there to help these children and whatever, and this is what these individuals, you know, like I just said to you, they don't deserve to breathe the same oxygen as us.
Like we said, children take trust in people, in trusted adults in trusted places, in trusted positions. People take trust in them and look up to them sometimes. Like I said, especially at approved school, if you're living at the approved school and you only come home once a month or once every fortnight, then people that are around you 24 hours a day, obviously because you're there 24 hours a day, you take some sort of trust in them people. You don't think they're going to do them sort of things. They're like, when you're away from your mum, how can I say, they're like your carers sort of thing. And then people take, obviously not all of them, but some of them people have took advantage of young children,
and it's just sad to hear that, you know, the stories from, like, you know, your own personal experiences and stuff, but you know, obviously getting through. And so obviously yourselves, with what you do, how did you come about to get involved with Elusive Child Protection Unit?
Well, started Elusive Child Protection Unit in 2019 with Pam, the co-founder. What we did, obviously I started working with a little team, doing a little bit of security for this other team and stuff. We're caught, I don't know how many, I think we caught about 150 convicted paedophiles at that time. But this other team, I was the head of security at that team. Obviously things get a little bit pear-shaped, people don't get on in the team or something. Brilliant team, still talk to the guy who owns it, the founder of it and stuff. But he kept saying, why don't you start your own team? There's loads out here, there's loads of people out here. So I started my own team, thought, can I do it? I'll give it a try. So me and Pam set up in 2019, and ever since then, obviously Pam herself, I'll explain what Pam said later on in the podcast, but obviously Pam's very passionate about what she does herself. So we started it off together, and ever since then, 5 years we've been going for. Been shut down twice, been silenced twice. We had a page of 200,000, 156,000. I've been shut down twice.
And who shut you down?
Don't know. There's no explanation on who shut us down. So we can't say who shut us down, but obviously we've hit a nerve somewhere along the line and we've been shut down. Now, what I tried saying the other day when we was at Oldham, and I was speaking to Billy, was about the last 7 people that we caught have only just come into the country, and they've not been in the country for very long. So them people that I've caught, I did say on one of the videos, as we were getting shut down, I did say on one of the videos, these people have only been in the country for so long. They've been obviously given jobs by, who I won't mention, been given jobs by a certain security group. Obviously they're giving hotels free homes. So I just said on the thing, we've got our own problem in our own country, homeless veterans and stuff on the streets and stuff like that. Why aren't they been homed? And obviously these people, what they're doing is they're coming over and taking advantage of our children. Where they're getting the mobile device from, where they're getting this from, who's giving it them? They're only in the country for, say, what, I think the lowest one was, he was here for 9 weeks and he was grooming a child online for 6 weeks of the time
so
he's
3
been
weeks
here.
in,
3 weeks
away.
And we've caught since then a few more, and they've only been here for 5 weeks. They've been grooming kids for 3 to 4 weeks online, so they've not been here very long. So
this is a problem.
Yeah,
this is totally.
So I mentioned this, Tony. I mentioned this, and then we were shut down. The last time we got shut down, we got the page back. Then just this time round, for some reason, obviously because of what I've said, maybe not said it in any sort of horrible way. It's not in a
derogatory way or anything. No,
it was just said the way it was. And obviously this time they just shut us down altogether. And obviously we'd have a lot of, as you mentioned before, about the trolls and stuff. Some people hate what we're doing. I don't understand why people can't support a team that are fighting
protecting our children,
protecting children, fighting against child sexual exploitation. I don't understand why people want to shut us down. People should want us out there doing this.
Do you think it could be these sick individuals who was grooming children online? It's
yeah, maybe it could be them. But then what we'll say about them is they're probably joining the troll groups under a different alias, and they're probably like all joining, coming together to attack a certain team to shut them down or something. So it removes their video. But what I will say is we'll keep setting up, and the videos will keep going on there, because your exposure we've caught will be for life. It won't stop. Everyone should know. It won't go away from. Not a chance. It's not going to go away. We're not going to let it go away, and we're not going to be silent. So we're back open now. Got some great supporters on there. We're back open. I think we're only at something like 12,000 people now. But it's not about the numbers. It's about the exposure. That's what it's about. So the more people that join the page, 100%. But it's about the exposure. So what I want everyone to do when they watch the videos is share it.
Yeah.
Because people need to know who's around their children, who lives on their street, who's in their society.
Also, though, Sean, as well, I think with what you. So I think some parents and some are very, very vulnerable. They don't understand an iPad, a laptop, a mobile phone. Every kid has got a phone now in today's society. And I think when you expose these sick individuals and they're talking to these children in disgusting ways, and what we're talking grown men, we're talking even grown women. You're probably, and I just think sometimes parents are very, very vulnerable. Sometimes, alright, is you just like you say, check your devices.
What I'll say is sometimes you can look at society nowadays. Obviously, some kids, they just, even when I was saying to my brother the other week, we were driving down the road the other week, and there's about 20 kids playing football. And I looked so far, no one's got a phone, they're all playing football, they're all enjoying themselves, absolutely brilliant. But everywhere you go now, even if you see kids playing out wherever they are, they're all sat on the devices. So even if they're sat in a group, say they're sat having something to eat,
there's no conversation.
There's no conversation anymore. They're not kids anymore. They're just sat on these mobile devices. But what I will say is these predators online, if you're not checking your children's devices, they are very, very, what they're doing to the kids online, they're threatening, they're very intimidating. Your children probably won't tell you. They're probably saying to they've
got a new friend.
Yeah, they've got a new friend. They actually make them believe they're their new friend, and they buy them things, they do this, they do it. And like I said, we've caught people before, and they brought gifts of gold chains for the decoys, and they brought different gifts and stuff. So you've got to remember what they do into a real child online. They're obviously grooming them to the extreme.
It is. It's like with me. It's like with me when I broke the story, and I've been silent. We'll go to it in a minute. But what Sean just alluded to there is that this is all walks of life. This is not just around people in affluent areas. Everybody has a device in this day and age, and there is a lot of vulnerability. It's like I said at the start when I broke the story, wanted to get into schools to educate children, because these children are vulnerable in their own right. They're in these council estates, and a majority are really good parents, but there's some bad parents out
there. Some kids go miss, and
they are vulnerable, and they've got the devices, and it's there, and they're not educated on it, because a lot of people, even myself has done it. Oh, go on your iPad, go on your and that's there. But if that education isn't there from a younger age for these children and the parents,
I was going to say, and the parents,
then it's not going to be out there. They think, they've got Snapchat, they've got this, they've got that. Well, really?
That's petty, that one. That's the worst app ever.
It is.
The which?
I hate it, Snapchat. It's the worst app ever. It's the worst app ever. It's got disappearing messages, disappearing pictures. It's the worst app ever. Loads of parents have been in touch with the team. Obviously we do real child's cases. Parents get in touch with us, and obviously what I'll say to you is the parent gets in touch, we take over the device, etc., and then obviously we try and catch them. 99% of the people we try to catch on Snapchat are actually from this country. They're from another country, and they're talking to kids online, obviously. Not just talking to kids, are sending over graphic videos and graphic images, and then they just disappear. We've reported it to Interpol. I don't know how many cases we've had reported to Interpol.
And what is the follow-up? What's the follow-up of that? With the
nothing. Interpol, it's nothing. They're abroad, we don't know where they are, they're in a different country. We can only track them to so many countries, but they're in different countries.
So the police just sort of
Yeah, Interpol, it gets left with Interpol, they never come back to us. 99.9% they've never come back to us. Obviously, like I said, if it's a child's case and it's over here, and the parent gets in touch with a team like ourselves, and they ask us to help them, if they do go to the police first, obviously it's an ongoing police investigation, we can't get involved. But if parents do get in touch with our team and say, listen, this guy's talking online to my child, without putting it all over social media, calling him a wrong and all that, please get in touch with a team like ourselves, and we will try and catch and expose the man who's been talking to your child online, if he's in this country, 100%, no matter the odds. But please don't put it all over social media. If you want to report it to the police, that's entirely up to you. We can't tell you not to. But if you want him exposed and caught, get in touch with the team, and we will help parents wherever we can.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, it's not wanting to put fear into parents that, you know, it's like every single person, because it's like anything. Yeah. It's like anything in life, isn't it? It's a minority, but that minority is a huge amount of people. If you look at the world the way it is, there's a lot of people in this world.
Yeah.
And these devices are a fear dangerous. For people. They're very dangerous, but it's not also to put fear in every parent, because it doesn't happen with everybody. Yeah. Does that make sense? Because it's but it's making people aware.
Awareness. It's awareness. And what you just said there, going into schools, I think even parents. Yeah. You know, we've got to be a bit clued up on, like you say, it's just...
Parents have rung us on the page, and Pam's taught parents through how to shut the child's devices down. We've gone through this sort of stuff, safety stuff. We've actually taught through parents how to shut the kid's device down. Obviously, we always say to parents, if you can get some sort of safeguard on your kid's phone, 100%, because what I'm going to say to you is we're a small team. I've got a very small team of decoys, and they're talking to hundreds and thousands of men. Now, statistically,
just men,
men, women, there's all sorts. Yeah, it's all sorts going on.
But obviously, the majority is obviously.
You've got to think what I'm saying, Tony. Statistically, to land on a decoy, they have got to be talking to hundreds and thousands of children. So that is what they're setting out to do. They are looking for girls of that age on different apps, and they are talking to them.
But obviously, using a decoy,
we're decoys. So I couldn't imagine how many children have been silent, that are silent, and that are being groomed,
being promised this, being promised that.
They're actually being groomed, and what's been brushed under the carpet and not been said. Obviously, what I will say is when the police go out there, they don't expose them the way we do. Everything then is done behind closed scenes. So for all you know, the guy who's just groomed, say, a girl across the road on your street, he could get arrested that day. Wherever, he'll come back home that night,
bailed,
and he's living on the street with 50 kids, but no one knows what he's about and who he is.
I think what you should do is, you know, I think it's only right, and a lot of people might go, well, this is disgusting. The statistics, what you're saying there, you're speaking to hundreds, and you know,
they're setting out to search for that age, say between 11 years of age and 15 years of age. They're setting out to find girls at that age. They're not looking out to find a woman and going, oh, accidentally just tripped on a child of that age.
Adults.
They're actually setting out to find that age limit.
And it's chosen, isn't it? You know, it doesn't.
Yeah. And Snapchat is
that the worst app?
I hate Snap. Oh, they're all bad, but Snapchat is pet hate. It's absolutely
Snapchat, all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all them.
They're all the same, Tony. Yeah.
And how do you? I mean, look on the, you know, that was a question I was gonna, you know, ask you later on. But what's the process, and you know, and how does, you know, initiate between a predator, what you'd call them? How does it start between yourselves, whether it be...
They make first contact.
They make first contact.
Yeah. So basically we have dormant accounts that lie all over different apps, hundreds of dormant accounts that lie on different apps, and then the predator makes first contact. So obviously the conversation will start. I won't go into too much, obviously, because of the techniques that we use.
Yeah.
Obviously a predator will contact this child. Hi, Obviously then the child will let them know, oh, hi back or whatever, then the conversation starts.
Flowing.
And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10 the conversation will start like that.
Straight away.
The conversation starts with disgusting chat, graphic naked images, videos sent, obviously masturbation videos and stuff are sent straight away. There's no conversation, there's no nice way to get into it. If they just bang, 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 and that's it. Then they want to arrange a meet. Then they want to facilitate that meet with that child, obviously to carry out doing what they've just said in the chat.
And like you're saying, you said a decoy.
Yeah.
How many fucking real children
are suffering?
Real children. Yeah. And they're being, like you say, they're being manipulated.
Yeah.
They're being promised this. They're being...
And they think they're their friends online. They actually...
Because the children aren't they? And like you say, it's like... They've got a new friend and they're being promised this and that, and it's really...
The sick ones will jump in straight away and they'll give you all that straight away. Bang, bang, bang. There's no holding back from the sick ones. They're all sick anyway, as I'll say. Then you'll get the clever one. So the clever one will pretend to be a friend. He'll groom him. He'll bring him into pretending he's protecting him on the app and etc. What's your address and stuff like that. And then the kid, because they're vulnerable, obviously they'll probably give the addresses out. Or what he'll do is he'll go through the searches online of the child and you'll find out what school they go to and you'll start hanging around at the schools and stuff like that because they have the uniform pictures. And that's another thing. If you've got any pictures of your child in a school uniform on any sort of social media apps, please take them down, because then they find out, if they're clever, they start hanging around at the schools looking for them children outside the schools as well, which we've heard before. So any sort of images of school uniforms,
how sad that is.
Please cover your child's school uniforms, crest or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean?
That's so sad to think. You know,
it is.
Parents
but
they're proud of the kids going to school and all that, and then you've got sick individuals who go to them lengths.
If they're talking to your child online and they find out what school they are, what stops them going to the school and sitting outside waiting for them?
But it's a global epidemic. It's been going on for generations.
It is an epidemic,
and we know this. You know, people that are open-minded and see this with crystal clear glasses, that you can see this has been going on for generations. You know, the Sound of Freedom that come on recently, they didn't want that to come out, did they? Let's be honest. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
But it's like with the children, it's like what Sean's alluding to there and saying it with it all. You know, and it's like, well, why was his site shut down? Yeah. Well, why? When it's doing something for the greater good of people. I know myself, I was in the cops. Tell you what, they don't even touch remotely these files that are sat there from the National Crime Agency, internet porn, that they don't touch for weeks and months and months. So what Sean and what we're doing there,
well, you have to deal with my case.
It's done
so you're taking it into your own, because no one else is doing nothing about it. And if no one's doing nothing about it, these children will be getting, you know...
Not even touching the surface, the police. They don't even touch it.
It's like I was saying to Andy the other day, obviously the people report it to the police, then they've reported it to the police and they spoke to us on the page, haven't they? And they said, the police are doing nothing about this, and can't you help me and I'll pass you. I said, listen, because it's already an ongoing investigation, we can't do nothing.
Because it's
obviously if the police don't do it, you can come back to us, then ask us then. But obviously, like I said, then you can imagine what parents are saying to us, that they're going to take it into their own hands and stuff like that. But like I turned around and said to them, but then you become the criminal, and it's not fair that you become a criminal.
You got to
protect your own child,
because you get a criminal record for going and giving good hide and protecting your children.
Protecting your own children,
And those officers that get these files are snowed under at the ground level, and they're being hit by the elite that at the top. Do this.
Take that priority instead of this priority.
And they're in the offices thinking, well, I want to protect, but unfortunately
we haven't got the resources to.
That's it.
It's just a sad state of affairs. I mean, and don't get me wrong, we know that the police service and is stretched and stuff. But cases like this, like you're saying, and some of the files aren't even being looked at. You just think, it's gathering dust, or it's I'll throw that on the pile or whatever. And no wonder the likes of what you do, the work you do, and there's other groups around the country, like you just said, it's an epidemic.
It is an epidemic. It's massive.
And it's like the generational thing as well. I've had thousands of people in the 40s and 50s and 60s telling me, like, I've come forward, I've been waiting 18 months. I just had one this weekend, 18 months waiting for just the CPS to say yes or no. That is a long time.
And that for that person, they're already going through torment. They've, what they've gone through, they found the courage to come and speak out. And then they get it. It's a kick in the backside, kick in the bollocks. It's because to say, well, look, it's going to take 12 months, 18 months. We've had our own experiences.
You've had cases like that.
We've got ongoing cases from 3-4 years ago now. I've got ongoing cases still taking place from 3-4 years ago. So obviously we then become part of a witness care team. So obviously we find out. Obviously they send us updated letters on what's happening when he's in court. Do you need to come to court? We're also the team with the evidence that push forward against him. And we've still got cases from 3 to 4 years ago. Now the worst cases we've got is when the police bail them. I don't think the police should bail anyone who's caught for this. They should be remanded straight away until they're dealt with. And the worst case scenarios are we've had 3 or 4 that have been bailed on the same day, maybe 6-7 hours later. They've got the passport, they jumped straight on the plane and they've disappeared back home into another country. So the police have bailed them, not took any sort of passports off them. They've basically just jumped back on the plane and disappeared. So that case comes back going, fled the country.
Do you know what, that makes me sick, that.
Yeah.
Because we've just had a little chat before we came on the podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got into a little bit of trouble myself, the football and whatever, and my passport gets taken off me.
Yeah.
I've got to hand my passport in.
Yeah.
All right, I hold my hands up. I've done silly thing. What's the name of dues? But the likes of these individuals of what they do, and they don't even take the passports off them.
Not all of them.
That's new. I mean, that's
the ones that have fled this country. We've had 4 cases, and they've fled the country, and they've just gone back home. And obviously, they've come back to us, the police, and said, "Listen, he's done a runner from the country. He's fled the country." So what I do is put on the cases when he comes back. When he comes back into the country, we will re-deal with this case. Obviously, are they ever going to come back? What they've been caught for here? No, probably not. But that they're just cases that I say now are ongoing, because obviously until they come back into the country,
which you're probably never going to come back.
So I'll leave them as ongoing. But yeah, there's been about 4 cases.
And then the victims though, how are they?
Exactly.
The torments, the sleepless nights, the flashbacks, they're living a nightmare again.
I can tell you firsthand.
Yeah, well, Andy,
1997, when I had a choice to make, I had to decide on my football career or my nephew, who Barry Bennell did what he did to me, raped my sister at 14 and had 2 kids with her. And I'm sat on that couch, and these 2 detectives, I'll never forget the faces. They said, "Right, brilliant, Andy," because I said I have my career or my nephew, and I went to prosecute him because he was coming from America. And I kid you not, this is true. 18 months later, I ended up with panic attacks, panic disorder, and I lost my football career. It impacts you so much when you speak out, and I spoke to thousands of people. When you get it off your chest and you say it to an officer or whoever, it's the biggest relief off
the weight.
But then the trauma in the centre of your brain starts to come out, and it takes some time, and people that are listening to this will get this from victim perspective, that it takes time, and it starts to eat away at you, and you get flashbacks, and then you start seeing videos, and then it comes again, and then it comes again. Sleepless nights, panic, anxiety, people turn to drink, addiction,
drugs,
you name it, to get through that pain of actually letting that go. And once you let it go, even to this day, the people that that come out now, there's no support for them, bless them, but that is the biggest thing, to actually speak out, even if it's to a friend, a family, a police officer, whoever, is the biggest release at first, but it comes at a cost, and that's where it can cause a lot of problems.
And do you think that's why people don't speak out enough? Do you know what I mean? They build it up, and they just because, like I say, many people.
Some people are embarrassed to speak out.
Yes.
They're embarrassed, or they're scared because of things that these sick individuals have said to them, or what they're going to do and whatever. But
like I said, since I started doing what I'm doing, like I said to Andy, a lot of people come and speak to me and confide in me. They go, "Sean, it's brilliant what you're doing and all that, can I have a word with you?" And these are big fellas from the town, big fellas from where we live. Can I have a word with you in 5 minutes and that? And they sit down and they speak to me and they tell me things what happens when they was younger. And they confided in me for that 5 minutes, but don't tell anyone, Sean, because I knew I could tell you, because obviously what you deal with and all that. And it's quite nice to see that they can confide in me for 5 minutes, and I say, "Well, do you want to take it any further? We can try and help you go through sort of historic historic lines and stuff. And it's weird to watch that so many people have stayed silent over the years because they're embarrassed to want anyone to know, or it can cause family breakups, or it can cause any sort of scenario.
It's a ripple effect.
A lot of people do keep quiet. It's a taboo subject still. It is still a taboo subject, I say.
And the ripple effect is huge on families and friends and stuff like that. All I say for me, 20 odd years of therapy, and I mean I've had 20 odd years of therapy from historical abuse, is that once you do pluck up that courage to let it go, it's always important to keep, not to then go within yourself again. And it's important to talk when you need that moment. Whoever your reach out point is, have somebody there when you're having an off day or you wake up and it start having flashbacks. Just continue with that process. And just have companionship with people that know what's gone on, but then just be able to just reach out. Do you know what? I'm having a shit day today. It's coming in, it's flashing back, I can see it. Just to talk to someone on that
just to keep
it'll just keep that balance. Where I didn't have that in 1997, it was like, well done, and I still to this day don't even know what he was convicted of for me. Not even to this day. Never known. But I know he was convicted of it. But yeah, it's just a case of just, please, anyone that's listening to this, if you've come out and you're struggling, just find yourself someone or somebody. I do it to Sean now. Sometimes I have. Because my last 7 years, I've been traumatised again by the institutes, and I've been re-traumatised. So I didn't have enough with Benel. I've had it for 7 years now, and I'm traumatised. Sean's seen me, and sometimes I'm in a mess because of what they've done to me. But I reach out to Sean, or I speak to my partner.
Because you're vocal, Andy, and you know, and at the end of the day, I think we're seeing this in society now. When people speak out, they try and shut people down. And I've seen it so much with this type of stuff that goes on.
It was like fate when me and Andy met. Obviously, Andy was going through an hard time. I'd gone to the pub tonight, I had a few drinks. And
did you know Andy before?
No.
This is bizarre.
Seeing this guy in the pub. It wasn't supposed to go in there that night. I wasn't supposed to go in there that night. Met this guy in the pub. Andy's turned around. I've looked to Andy. I've looked to him and said, "Oh, hey, pal, you okay?" Someone said to Andy, "That's the kid who catches."
Spiritual connection. Speak to him
now.
Said,
that's the kid who catches the paedophiles. Next minute, Andy's gone outside. Whoa, can I speak to you? We'll have a chat. Had a chat with Andy and his partner. Sat down, had a couple of drinks. Lovely guy. Andy told me his story. Obviously, I went home and watched the film of what Andy told me he'd made and stuff. We mentioned that on here. The film that they took away from you. So Floodlights. Andy made a film called Floodlights back in.
It was 2000. It came out in May 2022.
So I went home, watched the film, seen what Andy had gone through, the trauma and that. Obviously met up with Andy about a week later.
And who closed it down, if you don't mind me?
BBC.
So I met say no more.
Well, long story about them.
What does that?
So I met Andy, like I said, about a week later, met with Andy. Andy's like, "What do you do?" I said, "This is what we do, Andy." Put it on the table. Obviously at the time the page was still open, wasn't it? I said, "Andy, you've ever thought about stinging, putting obviously feet on the street and maybe join us on a sting? Maybe you've got a lot to say on the sting, and maybe you could let people know how these people make survivors feel." So Andy said, "Yeah, let's try it." So went out, we did one sting with Andy. The first one, it was quite a strange sting for Andy.
Was it emotional, Andy?
Yes.
Why it was emotional?
It was in
because of
so
obviously
many
what
ways.
you've been through, and then you're dealing with somebody
it wasn't just emotional based on that, Tony. What it was emotional based on was it was the strangest sting in the world, because the guy we caught was called Pete Nixon from Macclesfield. Obviously, we told Andy to go on the sting. It's his first sting. As we were driving towards, I'll tell you what, I'll let Andy say this bit, and he'll explain about this part of the sting.
It was bizarre because he said it was Macclesfield, but they were going to try and get him in Whaley Bridge, and I had alarm bells go boof, Whaley Bridge, because Barry Bennell had a video shop in Whaley Bridge and used to take me there when I was like 10, 11, 12, 13.
So flashbacks again.
Oh yeah, I had him hitting me, but. Going back to meeting Sean, I was told to speak to him, because when I did what I did in 2016, I wasn't just purely about helping children. I didn't, want the compensation. I didn't, like many have got and whatnot, but they shut me down. I won't go into it later if you want, but they shut me down, and I always wanted to, and I've been silenced, and I've been not very well. They took my film, they didn't do anything with it, and speaking to Sean and what he said, and he said, "Yeah, come on it." And then he went, Whaley Bridge, giving me a voice as well, because I've been shut down, proper shut down. So we're going over it, and we were driving it, and the sat-nav took us away, and I'm like going, where are we going? Because I know this route to Whaley Bridge. I used to do it every weekend, every week, go and stay at his house as a kid. And he took us up round the back. And as we're driving over,
you can feel it.
The adrenaline was coming through me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
anxiety,
you name it.
I could see the trauma in Andy's face.
And obviously you wasn't aware of this.
No, I wasn't aware. I know we were going to Macclesfield, but
to do a sting, but you're reliving.
So we're going doing this thing. I'm looking at Andy, like,
and it was where we
see the trauma in Andy's face
together. Me with Benel, because he used to throw coins out of his sunroof at cars behind us, smash window. He was evil, and we dropped down. And I said to Sean, I can't believe this. That was the last time I was on the road was with him.
Yeah.
And we stopped outside, and it was 100 metres from where his video shop was. Yeah. And I'm going up there going,
that's where the sting was going to take place.
Because it was revisiting my trauma.
And you had
no positive idea, positive way. You can't make it up.
That's scary.
It's happened so many times.
And it's happened, just I was telling you before, and the one a couple of weeks ago, and Sean on Thursday was going, this is weird. This
is weird, then bizarre.
And then we go to Sheffield, and it's on a sting, and they go, we're meeting at a hotel. And I'm going, right, this is weird. I used to play for Sheffield United. I'm not feeling the best today, but let's go and do it, because it brought back a lot of memories of losing my football career, because I'd lost it after Sheffield United. And we go, and lo and behold, it's here, Andy, and I look across, and it's the gates of the hotel that Neil Warnock gave me 3 months to stay there, and it's literally on the gates where they met him.
Yeah. That's where the sting took place.
Where the sting, so it was a revisit again, negative, turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
You couldn't make it up.
So that was like Andy's trauma again, but this time he was catching.
So you were taking a bit of from it, because obviously
and putting a positive spin
positive spin on it, basically, isn't it?
100%,
yeah.
Wow, it's
so Andy's journey's been with us quite a bizarre one, because everywhere we seem to have took Andy lately, like we do this thing, it's been so bizarre, because like I said, Andy relived his trauma coming back on the stings, but Andy's voice when he speaks to the vile monster, should we say? When Andy speaks to the vile monster, he tells them how it feels. Obviously, Andy's a survivor himself. These people need to know what damage they cause to people, and Andy's the voice to give that.
So I'm able to give that voice, Sean, for those survivors that do watch it, that know what that feels like. So I can actually give that to that individual that voice. And eyeball him, and it's hard. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I have to step away, and I want to burst into tears. Deal with that?
When you have that fucking individual there, the chat logs, with the disgusting things that's being said, and he's trying to be not a voice of reason. You're trying to, and it's like anybody. It all goes, all the tears come, the what's it when they get caught.
Only when they get caught.
When they get caught, and it's like anything in life. But these despicable and disgusting things that these animals, what we call them, like you say, how do you compose yourself? Because
we've got
what you've been through, Andy, obviously what you've experienced, seeing others, but what obviously over the years that you've dealt with hundreds, thousands of despicable, disgusting things. Me personally, I wouldn't be able to contain myself.
What I'll say is how we compose ourselves on these things is it's hard, as you know yourself, but the decoys, i.e. Pam, Madam Decoy, they put so much hard work into capturing these people. And obviously a lot of people say to me, when you turn up, just lever them and belt them and give them this. I've got my own kids at home. I'm not going to prison for a despicable monster. I'm not getting myself locked up for him. I'd rather expose him, let people know what he's about in society, and then that's up to the police.
You're trying to get them removed off the streets.
But then that's entirely up to the police whether they bail them or not, but at least everyone knows who's in their society. And obviously we do it the right way, and obviously like I said before, the decoys work so hard at these cases. Obviously what I need to do, I don't want to ruin
you don't need to disclose that, obviously, what goes into them. But them decoys, what they must like what they're engaging in. That must be some fucking...
As I said to you last week, Tony, before we go on the podcast, you asked me, as I said, just for a quick case, Pam, the co-founder, she's speaking to what, 31, was it last week?
31,
so this week you're looking at she's speaking to about 131, 132.
So within a week of obviously you speaking to me last week, I mentioned this before you came in, 31,
probably another
and now within a week, that has quadrupled.
Yeah.
This is what we're saying. It's
Pandemic.
It's an epidemic that's going on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's going. It's just. I just can't believe.
Yeah.
It is. And the thing is as well is, if you see globally what's coming out right now, and people are coming out of the woodwork, the world is kind of shifting. And people you see it every day, whether it's a police officer, whether it's an entertainment industry, whether it's whatever. That's been going on for generations, and they're starting to be exposed.
Yeah.
But this goes bigger than that, because it's a population thing that's going on, and people are starting to stand up.
Yeah.
And what Sean's been doing for 5 years, I tried with the FA, the PFA, gave them a solution. Next year, I watched freaking Harry and William talking about mental health. I gave them a holistic solution to help children. They didn't want to know. Pushed me aside. But it's like Sean now, he's doing this for 5 years, and he's shown the purity of it. Never took a penny, pay for own fuel, you name it. So he's got a vision to make it.
And this is obviously you just don't get
to help.
You just don't get no funding.
Nothing at all.
It's all yourselves. It's not as it's a business.
No.
You're protecting our children.
Yeah.
And in your own time, and obviously. You work as well, Sean.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Yourself and obviously.
And the weirdest thing is when I set up the foundation, and I kid you not, when I set that up, I had world freaking news there. It was live on everything. Within 1 month, that was taken from me, and I've been silent about it. The others involved, or whoever was involved in that, took that from me. I had a vision, just like Sean's, to help children, protect them, do loads of education, do everything. I had this vision, and what's brilliant is that I've come with Sean now. He's been doing this 5 years, and we can make this vision work and educate and make it bigger.
I'll tell you, everyone who's involved with the team, they're so passionate. That's from security lads to the decoys. Every one of us that are involved in the team, Andy's met every individual person who's part of the team, and they're solid. Every one of them is so passionate.
How many's part of the team, or did you disclose?
We've got. I'll give you a rough number. Maybe not all on the Sting at the same time. So it's about I'd say 2, 3, 4, 5. About 8 of us. Yeah. 8, maybe 9 of us. But obviously, don't all make it at the same time. Obviously, I said before, we use different security lads around the country. Some of our security lads, I'll just show you the amount of dedication. I've had one security lad, obviously Stag. We've been on a Sting, he's been working in London, he's drove all the way back to London to make sure he does our security, stung the guy, then drove back to work in London. Obviously in the day, so that just shows the commitment level that they want to catch these people. It's the commitment, the team is just solid.
Because it's for the right...
Yeah, for the right reasons. But to drive back from London, then he does it all the time, doesn't he? I swear, he drives back from London, he said, no matter where he's working, what time's the Sting at? So the Sting's going to be at 6 o'clock, I'm on my way back now. So he'll even give his own job up to drive back, then he'll drive all the way back to work and carry on doing night shift instead.
And when the Stings are done as well, you've got to be proportionate with that. You can't have like a big group of people hovering around an individual. So it has to be proportionate in the way that it's done. Obviously to protect the decoy, to protect the people that are there, that's what the security are there for. But it's
when it gets a little bit leery, where I've seen on the Stings and stuff like that, where and the public sometimes, and listen, the majority of the public don't want these animals in the community.
I understand why.
And obviously I know you've caught them. You've caught them in the act. The courts go and meet at a location. And then when you've got the public there, it could be a gang of... And when they see what it is, and then you're just trying to protect this. Yeah.
We do have a certain duty of care from while we're pushing the evidence against us. We have a duty of care from, which I hate to always say, but we do have a duty of care from. Obviously, the places that we've been, the areas that we've been in. Sometimes the public understand what we're doing,
and you know what it's about.
But you do get some leery ones. Do you know what I mean? You get some very, like we caught a guy called Pete Rumney in Bartington. The full estate, they're a solid estate up there near Stretford, solid estate
in Manchester.
Yeah, old people, big council estate. They all look out for one another. We caught this guy in the middle of the estate, turned round, we're probably surrounded by about 1,500 people wanting to lynch him. It was like, how do we get out of this one? Obviously the security held it tight, very tight. We had to hold it very tight. Obviously we couldn't stop everything that happened to Peter Rumney. And obviously there was hands coming in over here and hands going over there.
And there's only so many of you that can...
Yeah, there's only so many. And obviously, like I always say to my lads, listen, I don't want none of yous getting hurt. I don't want none of the team getting hurt. We never had that situation happen yet, but surrounded by 1,500 people was madness. They brought the police in at the end of the Sting. I think they brought 6 or 7 riot vans in full of police.
Because of how many
how many people was As he got took off the estate, well, he got carried off the estate. As he got carried off the estate, 'cause apparently he jumps out a window and broke his legs. As he got carried off the estate, obviously these people did not give up trying to get to Pete Rumney, and obviously the police were preparing in riot gear to go onto the estate. What I will say is, the people are partying do not want that people into that person in society around their children. As we left the estate, what I will say is, the people of that estate turned around and gave us the biggest round of applause ever and thanked us for catching that man on their estate. And they were quite really nice people, to be honest. Do you know what I mean?
Because that's how it. You know, them type of people in society, in your community. Like you say, if it's dealt with the police, it's all shh. Do you know what I mean? Where you guys, okay. At the end of the day, you're doing what the police's job. Because obviously, you know,
the public does have a level of respect. Once we tell them who we are.
But them type of people, Sean, I'm going to be honest with you.
I know.
They don't deserve to walk, breathe the same air as us.
I understand that. I understand that.
It's just sick, you know, individuals.
And anybody watching this as well, what I can say with me, my old career as such, categorically, obviously he's not going to give his tactics away. But categorically, when he goes to that sting and Pam and the team, categorically that is literally 100% evidenced up. So there's no doubt. There's no
you've
doubt.
Built it up because you know you can nail them. Then that's
it's built to a level that
evidence.
will go to CPS and a decision will be made. So people need to know that. So anybody that does see it and go, oh yeah, you just pulled him off the street.
Got the wrong person. Never.
That does not happen.
Never had the wrong person.
And I've seen what they do. And I know that what it is foolproof.
So it's basically you'll stake out at what team's house, a predator's house or whatever.
Well, it depends where the predator's going to come. Say the predator's come to meet a child, we'll wait in the area that he's come to meet the child.
Just observe it and just clock.
Or we'll find out where the predator lives.
Where they work, live or whatever.
We'll knock on and present the evidence and ask him.
And that's just the right way to do it. You know, you can't be speaking to children.
But I will give the public one thing. Once he find out we've got a guy called Wayne, Pam's partner. Obviously he's like, we call him the public liaison officer. He goes out and obviously the public there and he'll speak to him. He's quite a biggish lad himself. He'll say, listen, these guys have done this, these guys, and he'll talk the public through what we're doing at this time.
Because it can be a shock to some
it gives us quite a lot. The public do give us quite a lot of respect, to be honest. We've had them before where Andy's been on Sting with us. We've had these guys coming over, massive units. You know what I'm about doing? We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Listen, you can't do nothing. You'll have to leave our skirt. Say, do one. You can't do nothing. Just leave it alone. Let us deal with it. We'll speak to you after. Anyway, by that time, Wayne's already spoke to them and they're quite calm and civil by then, so they just go leave the lads to it. So they do know if people see us on the street now and they see me ourselves on the street locally, whatever, they go, oh, it's Sean, leave him to it, and that's it, because they know what we're doing and we're doing it.
You know, you're going to apprehend and
it all depends as well, because of the ones that I've been on with Sean. It can happen in certain areas where try not to let it be in like a centre of somewhere where
it's going to attract.
Try to get it in a quiet area, but that sometimes you can't.
That's a cat. And when you've caught the person red-handed, and trying to, I seen one the other day. There was a guy going to work. I don't know whether I can mention it or not, but there was a guy going to work. He had a uniform on, and he's screaming in the car park, "I want to go to work!" I think you know which one it is.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah. And I was thinking, listen, mate, you caught red-handed.
Well, they always deny it. Now the thing is,
that's what I'm saying.
Denial's massive, but a lot of them we catch. We have a folder. What I'll say to you is,
with everything.
Once I open the folder and I show them the first page. I'll show them obviously the first page, the phone number, and then I'll show them the first page.
The profile or whatever
I'll show them the profile, and you'll soon see the face just go like from, it wasn't me to, they know why we're there. Yeah, they know they've been caught then.
But they are very clever individuals, and that's something else that a lot of survivors will talk about, is a paedophile, or anyone that is implicit with that. They are narcissistic psychopaths.
Yeah.
And narcissists are very, very clever. They think out of the box. So they get caught, obviously we get caught here, but a lot of them try to slide under the radar because they are very clever individuals. And what you find is when say they get caught by the police, or they're in prison, or they get caught by Elusive, they then become very calm and very, sorry.
Yeah.
Be nice. Because they know their mens rea and how they're coming across on video as well. You get some that'll kick off, but a vast majority, certainly the clever ones that are taking it to the next level, will be on a
manipulative.
Yes, and they'll be very polite and, I'm sorry, sir. Sorry, boss.
Yeah. You have a lot of them who hide the face straight away, so they've got to cover the faces straight away. We had one guy we caught at a train station in Stockport, and the first thing he did was ram his face into the wall to disfigure himself. So I don't know what he started doing that for. So on this sting, he started headbutting the wall. So I'll put me on camera. He stopped putting train station. The police know the score. We can't name this individual for certain reasons. And the first thing he tried to do, and I was saying to Andy, he kept trying to hit his face off the floor and the walls and stuff, trying to make himself like sort of bleed so he could cover his face, because he had nothing to cover his face with. He did not want his face to be shown, and why he didn't want his face to be shown when it comes out, Tony. Obviously, I'll let you know why. Can't mention it here now. It's still an ongoing police investigation. When that actually does come out, you'll understand. Like Andy said before, people in positions of power. So what I will say, I'll send you that. Obviously we can carry on, but we won't talk about it too much now.
Don't disclose what.
But a lot of people try and cover the face. Like we caught another guy a couple of weeks ago. He turned up with different sets of clothes. So the place that he was supposed to meet in, he turned up in one set of clothes. So I seen him approach. I'm not too sure if it's him. 5 minutes later, he turned up in a different set of clothes. So they're very cunning, very clever,
and conniving.
So they got all different like sets of clothes. So he's quite. So they're planning.
They're trying to think a step ahead.
Of course they are.
Yeah, trying to think a step ahead of us. Yeah.
And I spent 6 years with Barry Bennell, and I also spent many more years after that because he married my sister, as I said. Now, how did an individual like that get away with it? And if I hadn't spoke out on November 2016, none of this would have happened.
Yeah.
I know that because most of them that I've spoke to said we were going to take it to our graves, and Woody, you did that. So because you did that, and we knew that you lived with him, we knew you were the worst one, and my sister, we had to come out, and then it snowballed.
It just went, and then it just come to light, and
is what it is.
Seen it in.
But that's because I spent that long with him. I truly, and I'm an intelligent person as well, I've absorbed it all. I've gone through all the trauma. I've gone through all the what goes on in their minds. They are twisted. I mean, he was on another level. I mean, he is Jimmy Savile on another level.
Yeah.
Because there's hundreds and thousands that he did. But what I say is, he's at the top level. But on that triangle of paedophiles, they all think the same. Yeah.
Even like Andy said, the ones we catch.
It's just, do you know what, Andy? Like you say, conniving, cunning, deceiving.
They think that far out the box of ways to manipulate, from
and they twist
devices to how they say it, to what they type, to how they manipulate and then groom families and get into the families and brainwash them. And
it's another level. It's just. You know, it's fucking sickening.
It is, like you said, it's an epidemic. It's massive. It's happening everywhere. And obviously, like I said before, if our decoys, every decoy, I say to them, I can't thank them enough, even from other teams. We don't get involved in the community. We have our own team. We run it tight. So we don't get involved. But all the other people that actually go out there, the decoy, massive round of applause for them, because they're basically saving thousands of children online.
Absolutely.
And the job they do is unreal.
And I know myself when I was in the cops, because they told me that they weren't. There's another story, but I've seen watching videos of porn, child porn, and the cops, the police, I tell you, wait until I do tell the story about that. What they did to me, what Sean knows, don't he?
Yeah.
To destroy me. There's a long. I'm going to write another book and a film. But what I'm saying is, I've actually had to watch that, knowing what I went through as a child. So these decoys that are having to do that day in, day out, night in, night out.
You can't watch that one. That's the only thing. We can't go into that. But anything like that, I'll explain the procedures after that. We can't. We have to stop it at a level there. Do you know what I mean? But,
of course. That's.
But cut that out. But what I'm saying is, for these decoys that have to go through that and that process, and then going through getting it all filed up, and then having to then stand in front of these individuals.
It's very professional, isn't it?
It is.
It's the job itself to deal with that. What they're having to deal with. It's streamlined.
What Sean's got. It's
very professional.
Streamlined.
MG11s are all done properly. Everything's done properly. So all the witness statement case, impact case, they're all MG11. They're all proper.
And this is all done.
This is all done by us,
this is
by Pam,
a small team.
A team, and they're not paid for.
No,
they're not.
No one's paid for it. No.
This is outrageous. There's no funding to try and. The government.
Oh, they're not going to.
They're not going to fucking party.
But the vision, I said to Sean, the vision that he can now do is it can grow, and it's with the support from the public to take these people off the streets that are clearly, it's an epidemic.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure people will get...
Well, we never asked, do we?
No, we don't.
We just carry on. But it's like I said, this is not our full-time job. This is something we do as a group of parents, family, and friends. And we want to stop this, do you know what I mean? We don't want this taking place online. We know it's never going to stop. It's getting worse and worse and worse. But obviously, as I said before, we just carry on forward. If we actually come out of work and did this as a full-time job, I could probably catch, 50 a week? And that's not lying to you. So obviously we've got to be very careful how many we try and catch a week, because it has to work around ourselves as well.
If you're working shifts or particular,
if we actually,
family life
and balance.
The biggest costly thing that all of us lose is time with our family.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I'm not bothered about money. Leave money can go anywhere, but the biggest thing is
you're protecting. It's like your own family, but then there's there's kids out there who are vulnerable, and that's what you're doing. So family life. I mean, how does your missus, your partner, how does how does it affect them?
I've lost 2 partners through Elusive.
Seriously?
Yeah. Because of the time that I take out with the team, obviously, and the things that we do, it continues.
I mean, obviously, that I can see. So how fucking.
So do I come before Elusive? No, Elusive come first. So it was easy as that. I picked Elusive because I will pick Elusive over them, because obviously Elusive are like my second family, and what we're doing is for the right reasons. Anyone that I do ever meet in a relationship, I hope I meet someone who will stand by me for doing what I do, not obviously getting jealous through someone texting from Australia or somewhere across the road going, who's that? I said, well, I don't know that, it's just the support of the page saying hi. It's not my fault they've said hi on the page. So I've lost a few relationships because of the time I've spent, the hours that we've spent, like a couple of things we've done. We've been out 4 days on the same estate, continuous 4 days, or we stayed out for 12, maybe 13 hours a day.
And this is all funded by yourselves?
Yeah, trying to catch these people,
And you're trying to catch these despicable animals. And it's just, it's unbelievable what you do, and my hat goes off.
But it does cost you a lot of family time.
I can imagine. I found it hard as well, from a trauma perspective, and some of the survivors that must watch it, it can trigger them. Because I can tell you, we're going there, and especially the ones who've been on, ironically, Sheffield and bloody Whaley Bridge and stuff. But it does, and it takes me a bit of time to give me head a wobble. But I've said from 2016 and now us together collectively, I have a saying: like-minded people collaborate together to change the world. Not one person could do it, because in 2016 I was left on my own. I was lonesome. I was on my own. Now, obviously, Sean, and he's picked me up and he gets me going.
And you're part of
part of a team that's going to grow, hopefully, and catch these people that destroy children's lives. I'm an example of that.
You're a survivor.
It destroyed my life. 4 marriages, 5 children, destroyed, panic attacks, panic disorder, addiction, drink, you name it. I've had the lot. And that's what should stop.
And that's the effect it has upon you. You're living proof that obviously what these
Andy come with Elusive as well. This gives you it gives Andy a bounce back.
He's got I can see how passionate he is about it.
Like I've got my voice back.
I thought it'd be hard for Andy. I knew it'd be hard for Andy. It is hard for Andy. But when he does it, like Andy was quite low a couple of weeks ago, I said, Andy, listen, we're going stinging tomorrow night, so I've got this sting on. Get yourself up, get out of bed, let's go and do it. Come on, we'll stand as a family together. We call ourselves a family because we are a family. Our team are a small family. And Andy said, right, reckon it'll be alright. I said, Andy, let's go. And he obviously got there. Andy stung him.
You've had a shit day, probably. That's what you think. You're down. You're feeling like shit.
It gives you that bit back. That
you've got that little bit of what's in
you. Protected hundreds of children.
And it's like the last few days. You've seen it in the news about Parental dying. He's dead. He's gone. But I tell you what, the last few days, I have been crushed in my head. I've been flashbacks, you name it. But I'm a warrior and I keep fighting. And Sean said about doing this tonight, and it's my dad's birthday. He died the day the I nearly swore then. The BBC, the fucking BBC told me that they were going to do the film that they destroyed me over, and then 10 minutes later, my dad had dropped dead. It was like he had motor neuron disease, and it's the worst disease that any person should have to ever go through, and he was my best friend, and it's his birthday today, so the universe has brought and made this happen today. He died, Bernal, before my birthday on the 23rd. And on the 25th of September, it was my Auntie Linda's death by Barry Bernal's cousin, Ronald Bernal, who murdered my mum's sister in 1971. The Bernals destroyed, and it's like satanic ritual, whatever you call it, have tried to destroy our family. But now they've both gone.
Yeah.
And now it's time to move forward. And with Sean, and what he's been a saint to me. I said it in the talk. He gets me up. He's got me my voice back, and he's got me going again.
Well, it's not like you've got a family now. Said Elusive, said to Andy.
Yeah, and it is a family.
All
They're
security
beautiful
lads,
people.
All the security lads, decoys.
You're all what you're doing as your family. You know, you're protecting our family, children and stuff like that. And I can see, you know, obviously what you've been through and that, and
it's like the other night when this happened with Parental. I was crushed. The family came and got me out.
To make sure Andy was
alright. But you know what? I spoke to me and you were talking.
This is the weird thing.
Me and you were talking. You went, Tony, this is weird. This because I was just about to, and then I went, and you sent me a message, and I went
on the Monday. Oh, that's Monday, wasn't it?
What a fucking great bit of news or something. I think you put on the text.
And I
think he said, I'm going to speak to. I said, listen, mate. I hope. Pass on me. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, and then
it's
because
bizarre.
The thing was,
and then bizarre that today.
Yes.
That we're doing the podcast.
Well, the thing was, we was on the phone 10 minutes previous talking about the podcast, and all of a sudden that picture come through. I thought, well, I wonder if Andy knows. So
you didn't know about it, did you?
No. So I text Andy.
And what is unique about this as well, I wouldn't want to get it off any journalists who have destroyed me and tried to. They were all over me back in the day. They couldn't wait to do something. Now, if I was telling them I want to do a piece on what's happened to me. Now, prior to Parental dying, I've gone to mainstream. Come on, let me tell the story. No, Andy, it's too big for us. No. Oh, but when it was Parental, they were bringing me every day, Andy. They were ripping me to shreds, getting me on every Sky News, BBC, Channel 4, destroying me. Like, do another interview. I wouldn't have wanted anybody else but Sean to let me know on that. I didn't want journalists to let me know. I told them. I went, yes. Oh, do you want to do a story now? Let's see if they do.
Exactly. It's. But like I say, you know what you're doing. I can't say it enough. I think it's unbelievable, especially, you know, it's not about money.
No.
It's about protecting our children and what you're doing. You know, I know they're all, for me, they're all sick individuals, and you know, I know this is going to sound a bit of a what's name question.
We've got to be careful what we say as well.
I know.
Don't keep holding my tongue
and we've said this before.
You're doing well, Sean.
I'm trying to hold my tongue, obviously.
I don't want you to get yourself into any trouble. Don't disclose anything that will get yourself into trouble or nothing. But they're all what's named sick individuals.
Yeah.
Is there any that? I mean, they all fucking stick out because they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. They should be castrated, in my opinion.
I'll be honest, all of them stick out, as I say, because there's some worse than others, obviously, but how can one be worse than the other? They're all sick, twisted
children.
People. They all speak to children, some do stick out, and some are very sickening. Obviously, what I'll say to you, this is your podcast. Obviously, if I had to explain some of the stuff that our guys have gone through, this probably wouldn't be aired. Because it's that sick, it's and that disgusting, that graphic. So, what I will say is I can't tell you the worst, and I can't tell you the least, because they're all involved and they're all absolute sick
in the head
people. And if I did have to say anything, like I said, which I don't want to do, I did tell you before the podcast.
You told me something.
I can't actually speak about too much because of the content and the explicit, extreme content, the way they talk to these children. But probably this wouldn't be aired for that reason.
It'd be shut down.
It'd be shut down, So I won't say why.
And I can finish and say this, Sean, as well. So, from my perspective, I can tell you categorically, alright, I was raped 6 years. And I've said this before in the past. Once they intrude on somebody, it can happen once. Just once. And it can ruin somebody's life. I've had people in the 50s, 60s, 40s, 30s, 20s saying it happened once, but it's destroyed me. There is no level, there's no bar, it's the same destruction. No difference. Whether it's a 300 odd times like it was for me, or just once. Once they do that and invade a child's life, whether it's physical, emotional, sexual, you name it, that defines that child and their path of life.
Fucking hell, I mean, it's sickening to hear that, you know what I mean? It's, you know...
It's like I said, it sounds mad when I can't tell you which one sticks out. They all stick out, so...
Of course they do,
Obviously, like I said before, we've got 100% conviction rate still. We're still pushing forward. The evidence that the decoys use is absolutely massive. The hard work and the commitment that they put into these cases is next level. As I said before,
100% conviction rate.
100% conviction rate, yeah. We've got 100% conviction rate as of still till today. Obviously, they don't all get a sentence, but there's also, they get different things.
This is what I was going to ask you about sentencing and stuff. We've, ourselves, when we had to go through a little bit of something in our family, and the sentencing that was passed down was, I just couldn't get my head around it when a judge passed sentence. And when you see the likes of these monsters go to court, they play the victim, they play the fucking what's the name card and all that. What annoys me the most is that you have this thing at the moment where a dog bites a child, it gets put to sleep. An abuser, sick individual of what these people are, they get a smack on the hand. They get community service. They get put on a register for 10 years.
10 years,
I just can't get my head around it, and like you're saying before, what we went over, like these individuals, they don't get the passports taken off them, whether they're from another country or not, even if they're based in the UK, because anyone can flee the country. Anyone can flee the country.
Because you got to look at it this way, son. What I look at, it's like they're protected like a vulnerable person, and they're not vulnerable people. They're sick monsters, but it's like when they go in there, so somewhere along the line, the higher powers are like sort of like protect them and treat them like a vulnerable person. The victim's a vulnerable person, not them. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. I understand where you're coming from.
And the statements when you get like the graphic nature of what. And they think they go, and
they get 12 months.
You get a 12-month suspended sentence. It's 150 hours community service and a sex rehabilitation, whatever. I'm thinking to myself, this individual has chose to meet a minor or whatever, like a child under the age of 16, whether and it's graphic, it's horrendous, it's hideous.
Well, that's something that we want to change. This is why we expose them. We want harsher sentences and harsher laws to be brought forward against these people online. And as Pam said, I've got a few things to say what Pam sent me over.
Yeah, of course you can.
So obviously Pam's not here today, guys. Obviously the co-founder, but Pam just wanted to say herself. Elusive Child Protection Unit. Gonna go through this.
Of course you can.
Set up in 2019, February 2019. As we was too many cases on social media of children being sexually groomed. Since then, we have done many cases in which have resulted in conviction. Unfortunately, the sentences the court are giving them are very short sentences. This is why we expose them so people know who are living around their children. The police work well with us, but once they are provided with the evidence, it's then sent to the CPS and the court system. So by us highlighting the problem, we are hoping that the courts can see this as an epidemic, as it's all over the world. The reason Pam isn't here today is because not only is she the co-founder, she is also a decoy, as she has to stay anonymous for obvious reasons. When we catch them, she doesn't want them to recognise her before this happens. We are a very small team, and considering how small we are, we apprehend a lot of child sexual groomers online. The team are made up of family, of friends. Pam also goes on then to say Elusive will continue as long as we are breathing, as social media is worse than ever now, and keeping children safe is our ultimate goal. But she did bring up a thing today, this morning, she sent over to me. What was I saying to you before, Andy, about so basically the Secretary of State of the Home Department, Sullard Braverman, she'd been on the news today, and she was on the news stating before that she wants Meta to take action, as 800 online child sexual groomers are being arrested every month online. So that's what she wants to do. Basically, she's saying that all children at risk, they have been asked to do horrific things themselves, and the offenders are sending pornographic material to them. So this lady, who's the Secretary of State for the Home Department, Suella Braverman, wants to basically change the law as well.
She wants to bring it.
Yeah, she wants to bring harsher sentences in. Because she's asking.
But there needs to be more people like this, though. Do you know what I mean?
The judicial system.
That's from Pam Guess.
I've worked within that. The judicial system is run by people in very higher power places. Higher than Parliament. They have to have a bill to go through Parliament. This has been going on for generations, and sexual exploitation, rapes, call them cults, call them whatever you want to call them. Rings that I brought up. This has been going on for generations, and it's about time now, as the world is seeing the way people are coming out, Sean and the team and people. It's time for change.
Yeah, you want to change.
It's got to change.
We'll build
There's too
build
much
armies if we
coming
have
out.
to, Anders. So we'll build an army. We want to change.
To protect our children,
Yes.
and these people need to be getting...
Yes.
We all know these if it was like America, the death sentence, these type of people, you hate a child, or you know, even anybody, you know, rape, anybody, you know, stuff like that, they don't deserve to sentence, and they need to be castrated or hung or whatever. No, it might sound a little bit, but these
Not to
people,
us, no.
it's a scary statistic what you're talking about.
Well, 90% of grooming takes place online. All 90%. If you look at the stats for the last 4 or 5 years, I think 90% of grooming took place online.
And there's a
that's
reason
before.
for that.
That's before people actually went out and met these people, was groomed in the streets, etc. But 90% of grooming takes place online.
Because you go behind, it's like keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
So back in the day, it was football, it was sport, it was schools, it
because
was
we
churches.
didn't have the likes of
Because
iPads, and we didn't have like mobile phones.
So they're more acute now, so they're using the technology
is online
to then groom, get involved, and it's the technology, and they also,
that's what you
also the technology. When you think about it, these Snapchats, this Facebook, they're all based in different America and whatever. But hold on a minute, where's the protection for children here?
Yeah. There's no protection, is there? If a child can set an email address up, they can put whatever age they want to be.
Yeah, they can block.
So kids nowadays know about technology. If a kid can sit down, set an email address up,
set an account,
they can go on any app they want and pretend they're any age they want, even though they're still a child.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
Do you ever fear of reprisals? You know, do you yourself, Andy, Sean, the team, the family, like you?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, we've had many death threats, thousands of death threats online. Yeah, death threats towards my family, death threats towards my children, actually people saying that they want to. I can't mention that word on here, can I? But actually saying that graphic things that they want to do to my children and stuff like that. I've had all this sort of stuff said, but then they've got to realise is what we do. We have the skills and technology to catch these people online. Now they're online and they're talking to us. So I have gone down the line of looking into who they are and where they are. But like I said, they'll never show the face. They're absolute lunatics, cowards and lunatics. They just sit there in the background. They obviously team up with these troll groups and stuff like that. That what shuts down.
And why do you?
And
you know,
I don't know. Pam's had the same. We've had death threats. All the teams had threats, and we just look at it and laugh because we think to ourselves, well, hopefully one day they'll turn up and they can meet us, because we're not obviously scared of what we're doing. We put ourselves in these situations.
These aren't going to stop.
We're not going to stop, no. So they can carry on threatening all they want, carry on doing this, doing that. But I can tell them one thing: if it ever comes down to my children or my family, that won't be recorded on live. So I'll just carry on with your threats, and if you do carry them out, then obviously we'll have to carry ours out, because obviously if I've got to become a criminal to protect my own children and my own family, I will then. Not a problem.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's how I say it.
No, it's not. It's not sure, because at the end of the day, you have a duty to protect your family, and what you know, and what you're doing, you're protecting other people's children and whatever online, because it's so. I just find it outrageous that these people want to try and shut pages down, trolling,
strange
because
people.
And my thinking behind this is probably these dirty. Individuals who you think or whatever who are behind it.
Well, maybe they're under different aliases, hiding behind the troll groups, and they all come together and they all like obviously.
It's like they do in jail. I've not been to jail, but I used to speak to people who have, and they said they're protected, they're on wings, and they all congregate and they all talk and they all. And I just think to myself.
Well, you've probably heard me say this, haven't you, before? You probably heard me turn around and say, anyone like that who goes into prison, why not put them in general population? Maybe a lot of things have changed then. I'll say that as it is. Why not put the paedophiles and the sex offenders on general population and not on wings where they're protected, because that's where they deserve to go. And maybe things will change then. Maybe they'll stop doing what they're doing. Maybe they won't. But put them on general population, put them with real people.
But because they won't
not put them watching TV together and talking about stories together, what they've done to kids and getting off on it. Put them on general population, then see, because they're a criminal and they should be in jail and they should suffer.
And when they go on those wings, it's like people that in general, go to prison, they get education, don't they? So when you've got a load of paedophiles together, more experienced than others,
you imagine
they're
going to
educate them.
You imagine
what the conversation would be, and it's just sickening.
Yeah.
I hope these hundreds are online turning out, oh, guess what, I got caught by Elusive Child Protection, so did I. And when you get out, we'll catch you a fucking again. I hope that's what they're saying together.
And you just, like you say, it's scary.
Yeah.
It is scary, and it's like, when you're talking about trolls and stuff like that, it's ironic that Sean mentioned that. When I broke the story within the following week, I had a troll who I found out who it was, posted a picture of Barry Bennell, and then posts me pictures. Do you want to come and suck on my lollipop? Blah blah blah.
Sickles, yeah.
I thought it was Bennell. And then he subsequently found out, and I'm so proud of this. I took it because the police weren't going to do anything. They wanted to do a community resolution. I went, community resolution? I hit the deck. I freaking hit the deck.
Yeah, disgusting.
So I fought it, and it went to Chester Crown Court, and 2 men went to prison for 12 months each. And when they went down, they shouted to me, "You fucker, I'm going to come and get you when I get out."
Well, tell them we're there, we're waiting for them. We'll see him.
What is being
sick?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Sick individuals, and there's many that do it. I've had loads of trolls like Sean, loads of them attacking me, trying to silence me.
I won't put my kids' pictures online. Obviously, what I'll do is I'll close it down to a certain group of family and friends.
Selected. Yeah.
I won't put my own kids' pictures online because I've heard the troll groups taking my kids' pictures and putting my kids on a picture of a scenario with someone else and stuff like that. And obviously for me to see it, so I've had stuff like that sent to us as well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, quite a while back, we had other weird stuff sent to us. We're going to do this to your family. We're going to do that. But when they're finding pictures of your children and they're putting them on a poster with somebody else who's naked, and they're going, "This is what's going to happen to your kid." It's like, well, do you know what I mean?
You're in the right mind.
I don't know.
Put something together like
that.
No.
We don't report it to the police for the reason being we ignore trolls. The more you ignore them, the more you ignore them. Silence. They don't like silence. Once you start fighting back with the trolls, that's what you want you to do. So I just ignore them. What I do is just remove them from the page.
That takes some.
Just keep ignoring them.
And the institutions, those at the highest level, are very powerful organisations. And when I was on my own, they silenced me, literally silenced me, and I was silent, kept silent, never said a word. For 7 years, kept silent. And now I'm with Sean, I've got a family. Tell you, one day, I will tell the truths, what has happened.
Andy's always got us with him.
How can some institute throw someone in a mental hospital who is totally sane, as you can see here now, never took one medication that they tried to prescribe me? I am sane.
Yeah.
That is horrendous.
He was trying to keep you quiet.
You got it.
Yeah.
1 billion%.
And
they're powerful. I know they're powerful, but let's get the truth out.
Andy will say that's what they're probably doing with us. Obviously, Andy's been part of the team, and we spoke about this, didn't we? Andy becoming part of the team, and the algorithm's changing because Andy Woodward is now with us. Have they shut the team down because Andy's with us? We can't say we're not sure. So think about what Andy's telling you now. And you've got to actually realise what Andy's telling you, that obviously they tried to silence Andy for so long. Now he's got a voice with us on a massive page, massive scale.
He's got a massive platform.
And he shuts us back down again.
And it's
not because of Andy. I don't blame Andy. I say it's not because of you, Andy. I think it was because I spoke out about these people coming to the country. Maybe Andy might be a little bit of a part of it, but Andy says, but all I said to Andy was, it doesn't matter. We'll just open up and we'll start again.
You're only speaking the truth, Sean. Andy,
people don't like the truth.
The truth is the truth.
Truth is the truth.
It's not fabricated. You're not fabricating it. You're not making this stuff up. And it's not against people coming in from other countries. It's not, people might go down the route of, you're being what's name against this and all that. And
it's not about that.
It's not about that. If people are caught bang to right,
it doesn't matter.
With the phones, they've been in the country 9 weeks, and then you can see the chat logs of that, and they've been speaking to them for 6. Come on. It's there to
it's not about colour, it's not about
race.
It's not about that. Whatever colour, creed, race you are, if you're talking to a child online, I'm going to expose you.
Of course.
It doesn't matter where you're from, we're going to expose you. End of. So it's not just about that, but then people, obviously, we had
people twist it.
We've got a Union Jack flag, and obviously it's got our logo on the front of it. So everyone we catch, we put the flag out and we put the flag name. And obviously someone come back with, that flag's racialist. So why? Because it's a Union Jack. So now they're saying, they're racialist because they've got this flag. I'm like, well, it's a flag, it's got our team flag on it. Obviously it's got the Union Jack in the background, but does that matter? We're from this country.
We're based in the UK.
We're based in the UK. That's showing that we're in the UK, because what the dream is, as Andy will say, is eventually what we want to do is train other countries, people in other countries, to have a team like ours there. That's what we want to do in the future as well. So they're going to have a flag of, say, Spain or Australia. They're going to have a flag.
What's in countries?
So
Eastern Europe, all these
everywhere.
It's any excuse that they can get round to try and shut you up or silence you or make you quiet. What I'll say and all about the supporters on the page, we have a massive support group on the page. When we go live, Facebook play the notifications. So the supporters don't know we've gone live. They have to keep changing the notification settings. So they keep sections on the page. What's happened to my notification settings? Well, we don't know. When we go live, it doesn't tell them we've gone live, even though that we're on the top thing on their supporters thing. And obviously, when we go live, they don't know we've gone live. And they go, "Oh, I didn't know you went live." My notifications. Then they look into the notifications, and they've been changed. So it's mad, isn't it? You've got to think what I'm saying.
There is a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
And and when you say about evidence, I was a detective, so I've recorded 7 years worth. Yeah, and they don't know.
So supporters getting the notifications changed just so they can't watch us.
That is absolutely crackers. Why would they want to protect?
I haven't got a clue.
You're going live, you're exposing these individuals.
I've not got a clue.
And people, obviously, however many supporters are on the page, you'll get a notifications on certain platforms. You subscribe to something or whatever, or you follow the page or you like the page. You get a notification ping.
They've been changed.
Share. And this is what I was going to say to you, and I think you've just answered the question. Obviously, with Elusive, where you look what you want to do. With like you just said, the other countries.
We'd love to get into other countries and train on what we do, and have other teams set up around the country. Obviously, stay as loyal as we are to ourselves, but. That's the bigger picture.
I've contacted
It's all about protecting the children.
Protect children, or change a law, or harsher sentences. Bring something in. We want to make a change. That's what we want to do.
And the equipment side of things, I'm going to speak to a few people and just try and get a few bits and bats that we can sort of just take it up bit by bit. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's just
self-funded as well. You say
no.
Everything we've ever done, and I'll be honest with you, is on a mobile device. So every picture, every video, every live stream, everything we've ever done is on that device. So everything that we've ever done is on the device. We've never got into the laptop side. We never have laptops. We never set a website up. But they're the things that we are going to have to start doing, because we've got to start being one step ahead of them shutting us down.
What with the figures? What you have been talking about?
Yeah.
I think this needs to be, it needs to be out there. I know there's a lot of groups that do what they do, and they do a fantastic job, like yourselves. But obviously, speaking to you and explaining exactly how rife this is.
Other groups do take funding, and other groups out there do fun days and stuff like that. We've never done anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, what we do, we just carry on. We're passionate about what we do. But other groups do take funding. Other groups are funded, as I showed Andy the other day. They don't say they are, but we know they are, and obviously we don't get into that. That's up to them.
Of course. You should all do the thing to protect the children.
Do you know Stinson Hunter?
Yeah.
He put a comment out. Stinson Hunter put a comment out. Obviously, I talk to Stinson sometimes when we're on, like he's on a live, and I'm like, "Hi, Stinson, hope you're okay." He was a great hunter, Stinson Hunter. Absolutely brilliant. And he actually put a comment on Stinson Hunter saying, "I don't understand why teams don't get funding, because it financially ruined him." He said it financially ruined me for what I did, all the work that I put in. And Stinson actually says it on one of his lives. It actually financially ruined him.
And Stinson Hunter was the paedophile next door on Channel 4,
he was a great hunter.
If anybody doesn't know who he is,
well, he actually said teams should take funding because he financially actually ruined Stinson Hunter. He actually ruined him. He said that on one of his lives, and I was on there one night. I was like, wow. I thought, we don't need funding. We put our own juice in between us. We have our own vehicle.
But to the level where you're at now, with what you're dealing with, and
it's about platforms. It's about setting your foundations first.
Of course,
and I know that.
I know it's not. I know it's not for financial gain. I know it's not.
None.
I think
zero.
It's trying to protect the children, but when you're on a scale of what you're doing, and the hours. Which are
it's 4 days thing within
4 day,
4 days thing.
You've got a full-time job, and what you're doing. It's
some lads who have been part of the team. They lost their jobs because they stayed out that long to try and catch the obviously the vile monster, and they're like, we need to get him. We'll stay. And some of these lads have been threatened to lose their jobs and stuff like that. But
that just shows you how passionate they are about this.
Yeah, and they stay with us. Till the end.
I just find it, what you're doing. I think it's fantastic. I've said it numerous times on the podcast tonight. I just think what you're doing is fantastic, and protecting our children. I just think more needs to be done.
Yeah, we understand.
I think the public. Hopefully, this can open people's eyes a little bit more. I know people are aware of it goes on, but they're not quite aware the extent of what goes on.
If we wouldn't be able to show anyone the extent, because if we showed anyone the extent, they probably shut us down on that thing, or silences on that. But to understand the extent, as I said before, in less than a week, that's just one decoy, Pam, the co-founder. She's got probably an extra 100 men in over a week talking to her online in a sexual
100
probably another 100 men, in a sexual and explicit manner. So obviously that's grown from 31 that I told you about the other week when we had a private chat. And obviously there's other decoys as well. Probably Madam Decoy, she's probably talking to 30, 40 at the moment. Obviously Rachel.
It's not a little problem. No, this is a massive problem.
And that's just us as a small team.
Industrial scale.
Yeah.
But
so you imagine I brought 20 decoys in.
Hidden away, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like anything. When people have a voice,
yeah,
and the people who have a voice, seem to be cut down.
Oh yeah.
We're very careful who we bring in.
Shut up, throw away the kid. Andy, you live your proof.
Andy will tell you that. We're very careful who we bring into the team. We're very, very careful.
Are, you've got to.
I could go out there tomorrow, I could train 20 decoys, and I know for a fact by the end of the month, they'd be talking to at least, just starting out, they'd be talking to at least 50 men each by the end of the month. Yeah. That's me training another 20. So, as I said before, we're quite small and we have that many. So imagine if I train
whatever it says, keep your circle.
Yeah,
very small,
And it's like, for me, which is great as well, is that, you know, what I did in 2016, I'm educated from that. I have seen it. I've been witness to it. I've been the one that's had to, everything that's hit me. But I've learned from that. So when Sean and the team want to sort of take it to the next levels and things like that, I've already been hit there.
So your personal experiences, the ones, you know, it's given the likes of Sean and that, you know, or when you're going on a sting and whatever, and you're trying to help them, and you know, I just find
Sean knows his stuff anyway. He knows his stuff. But from my perspective, it's like, what's the timing, the essence of this is that I've said to him, you know, you start to take it to the next level and to the next level and let it grow, but be tight with the people that you trust.
Have the police ever spoke to you and said, look, not so much working alongside them, but did they ever say, look, you know?
No, I'll tell you.
As
I'll say it is the best police force that we've ever dealt with, and I always say to Andy, Cheshire Police.
Cheshire.
They're the best police force that we've ever dealt with.
The counter, obviously, can county that Merseyside.
Every time we've caught a predator, apart from one, should I say now, but every time we've caught a predator in that area, straight remand and conviction straight away. There's never been a problem. They don't mess about. They don't mess about. They turn up, bang bang, you're gone, and that's it.
And Cheshire's a big county. You've got, you know what I mean. It's like
the best police force we've ever worked with. Birmingham Police, they're brilliant as well. I'll be honest with you, Birmingham Police are great when we go up to Birmingham. But the best police force that we ever dealt with are probably Cheshire.
I think also like they had a huge education for themselves because of Benell's case. Yeah, it was a global thing.
So it goes back again. It's mad.
It was a global case, wasn't it? And they were under the spotlight of the nation because it went that big. So I think what they did as a constabulary is they learnt and educated themselves from the top level and thought, right,
we can't let this go on again.
We need to do something and get this better. What was a
we cannot have this go on. Ever. It should never be happening.
At the very top, the elite, they're not interested. But the officers, in the middle bit and everything else, like Sean said, Cheshire, he started in 2019. Benell got sentenced in 18, so they were under that scrutiny, Cheshire, and clearly they've tried to do something because it's like you said, they're brilliant.
Yeah, Pam deals with Cheshire Police and they're absolutely.
That's
brilliant.
Good to hear though, because don't get me wrong, the police come in for that. And listen, and solely right, because there is some police who are corrupt, there's some police that can't be trusted, and we've said this.
But they're still parents as well, they still got their own kids at home.
And this is what
some police are very supportive of us, believe me. Some police, and obviously, like I said, when it goes to the police and they arrest them and they go into the police station, it's up to the CPS after. It's not the police's problem. It's up to the CPS after that, and that
they can only arrest them.
They can only arrest them, get them in there.
They can only do what they can do.
Then it's not up to them that they've not been remanded. It's not the police's fault.
It's what you just said there.
It's the CPS,
they are parents as well.
They are parents as well, yeah.
And if I was a police officer and they, some of the graphic stuff that you're having to deal with when you've apprehended somebody.
Yeah,
I'd be, obviously you've got to, whatever profession you've got to be professional and stuff. But
they do say things after the sting. They say, nice one, absolutely brilliant. We've even had letters sent from the police after we've caught them, they've been convicted. Even says on the letter, thank you for so much you've done in this case. And people don't believe it. We have to show them the letters. Nah, the police haven't said that. The police have said that. They thanked us so much for being part of the case.
That to me, what you're doing, and you get that little... what's that feeling like when that conviction when they're going to jail and they get...
For the decoys and survivors, probably...
That's the survivors and yourselves.
Yeah, it's like Pam. As a decoy herself, I won't go into too much Pam's life story. Obviously, she's not here. But Pam's very, very passionate about what she does for the reasons being what's took place in her life as well. Yeah. And to get that conviction for Pam, it's probably like the best thing
I can
ever,
sort of get onto what you're saying, and I can see
like
Andy, Sean, you know, Pam. Obviously, she's not here, and I know you speak so highly of her. Your own experiences and stuff or whatever. I can see how passionate you are, and I can see, you know, I think it's what you're doing. It's fantastic. Again, I'm saying the same thing, but I think it needs to be highlighted. I think it needs to be out there, and I think anyone who watches this podcast can certainly, you know, start supporting. You know, yourselves, Elusive, and supporting other groups. And when you do see these lives, you share it and whatever, because it could be someone living next door to you. It could be, you know, everyone's got social media. You know, everyone, you know, if you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram and whatever, and you've got a share button, that could be someone in your street. Because if the police were to arrest them and whatever, they put in the car, they're going there, they're getting bailed 6-7 hours later.
He'd come back and say he's been done for shoplifting or something.
And that's what
he's not been done for shoplifting.
That's what they do. They sell a you know, another story, and it's just.
And you can't. But when we expose them and they're exposed live, everyone then in that area, and his family members or whatever, they know what he's done wrong, because them chat logs are 100% accurate. Everything that we bring forward are 100% accurate. So when we read that chat log out, sometimes I know it sounds a little bit triggering and a little bit graphic, but they are the predator's own words, and people need to understand what he has said. Because we can just sort of say, oh, he wanted to meet a 14-year-old or blah blah blah, he's only done this, he's only done that, but no, people need to know what he said.
And I think the use of the balance of the online thing, as we were talking, it's quite ironic really, as we were talking about the online and these abusers that use the internet to their advantage,
to hide
behind, to catch children, vulnerable people. The internet is also a very powerful tool in a positive way. So I look on light and dark. So that dark web and darkness that they use, why not people have a voice and collaborate together and join and share everything, their lives, they're doing the greater good for humanity, for children. It's like people that say, oh, why don't you vote? Well, I don't vote, because what's the point? Well, use the online stuff that the teams are doing, especially Elusive that I'm here with, but use the power of social media, use the power of the online stuff that we're putting out for positivity, and let's out these dark web people that are doing what they're doing. Use the online stuff, the social media, put it out there, keep putting it out, keep sharing it, keep sharing it, keep sharing
people's faces.
And it's there, and people, and that becomes powerful, more powerful.
And how do, obviously, you know, you've got a page on Facebook.
We did have one on YouTube, we got shut down. We got shut down. We don't know why we got shut down. I think it was trolls again. But like I was saying to Andy the other day, a lot of our stuff that we've used over the years, a lot of the videos and stuff like that, they are being used by other people. The other people are on YouTube and stuff using our videos and probably earning money from it. We've never earned any money from any of our videos. We've had videos of 4 million views on Facebook, etc. Biggest one I think was 4 million. It was 4 million 2 halves. But then we see our videos all of a sudden on like different platforms like Rumble, YouTube. So people, what they're doing is, because we're not copyrighted, and we're trying to get around that. We're copyrighted.
There's ways around.
People are taking our stuff and putting it out there, and putting it on different.
And trying to take the credit for it.
Trying to take the credit for it, and also earning money off it, which I find is disgusting as well.
And to be honest, and I know it's not
You've
about.
Seen that yourself, haven't you,
but yourselves were where you're at.
Yeah.
I know you aren't funded and all whatever, but I think to take it to the next level, which I think you nearly need to do, that's my opinion, and I think a lot of people will agree with me. The hours that get put in, you know,
a lot of family time.
A lot of it's a job. It's a job in itself, and you're doing it for the good of our children. I just think, listen, I think it's certainly something that something that you need to possibly look into and get that little bit of help where I think. It's not for
it's like we need website. We're trying to look down more professional now. What we're going to do. Obviously, I can't go into too much, but obviously next month we've been trained next month by 2 guys in Manchester. The full team have been trained in self-restraint, certificated self-restraint. The 2 guys who were training us train the prison officers, train the police officers, and they're going to be certificated. So the full team also are going to be certificated in full self-restraint, every aspect of self-restraint.
Which obviously you need in circumstances and stuff.
So that gives us that little bit more professionalism to push forward with the team. So the full team's going in, and we're going to be trained in all aspects of self-restraint and different self-restraint techniques by 2 guys who've got 75 years experience between both of them. They train the police also, and they train the prison officers and a lot more armed forces, etc. So to be trained by them 2 guys, obviously with our certificates, if the police do turn up, it shows that we have, but we're quite professional in what we do. If we do have to detain them, if we have to detain them in that way,
just aligning everything together so it all marries up.
And by the way, these 2 guys have done this fully free. Met these guys a couple of weeks ago. The massive, I'll give you the names after. I won't mention the names on it in case you don't want it. These guys put it all on. They've said to the team, come in, we know you're not funded, we'll do all this for free with you. We'll do different scenarios where you're at with a team. We'll do different self-restraint techniques, and what we'll do is every 6 months we'll do a refresher course, and we'll give you a re-certificate every 6 months to make sure that it's up to date for the team, to make sure that you carry on doing what you're doing.
Brilliant. So
these 2 guys are absolutely, call him John, it's John and Steve, that's all I'm going to say. They're absolutely next level guys. When I show you a picture of them after we finish this, you'll understand. So it's going to be good.
So obviously people, for the likes of like John and Steve and John and whatever, obviously they're doing it for free. If there's any other people that want to, after this podcast goes out, who want to get in touch with yourselves in regards to helping, trying to take Elusive to the next level, trying to help, they can contact you on Facebook. That's correct. And it's Elusive Child Protection Unit.
Elusive Child Protection Unit, ECPU.
So if anyone wants to get in touch, obviously they can get you on there, and that's the only platform.
Only trusted people, trolls without set.
No,
trolls.
All
knobheads. All knobheads.
You can say that.
All knobheads. Without set knobheads, all trolls. Obviously, as I said before, guys, we've got the skills and also the technology to find out who you are, if you're a trusted person. I'd rather give me someone who we know, which would be a lot easier to deal with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just trust.
Anyone who wants to help, it's brilliant. Like I said before, was mentioned before, Andy, wherever we go in the country, we'll mention this as well. Obviously you're going to hear this from myself. Football lads, as you know, football firms, as they call them. We probably know a lot of football lads, our security lads, Manchester City and Oldham lads. Then as we go up the line, got Hull City lads, and then we need to go into Birmingham. We deal with West Brom and Birmingham Zulus. So I've always used the football lads for a reason, because obviously they're their own communities in their own towns. Now, if we ever need any sort of like wrecking doing, or we're ever checking on someone, we need to find out if someone lives in that area. We've always used the football lads for that reason, because they've got their knowledge. They've got their own knowledge of their town, and they're their own families in them towns. So we always use a lot of the football lads, which is great. And I want to say a massive thank you to all the football lads, and obviously West Brom, Zulu, City, Oldham, some of the best lads as well, Stockport. We've always used football lads. So wherever we go, Hull, wherever we go, we always use the local lads, because they've got the knowledge in them areas as well, which is quite good. And they just turn up, and they make sure we're always definitely going to capture and secure the conviction on the predator, should I say.
Well, listen, like I say,
and they're all behaved as well.
And that's a good thing.
Do you know the mad thing is? The ironic thing is, like, people say to me sometimes, you meet these lads and they're quite big lads in their firms and stuff like that, and every time they go on a sting with us, they know the work we're carrying out, they know the work we're doing, and they're behind us 100%, but they're always well behaved as well. Always well behaved. So like you said before, how do you control something in front of, if you're in that situation, I might control myself. They control themselves because they know the hard work that's been put in, and obviously we speak to them beforehand, and they know what we're doing it for, the right reasons we're doing it for,
and that's why you want to be a part of it.
You can't jeopardise the case.
You can't jeopardise the case. It's weird to watch half a firm stood here and he's in front of us, and we're doing obviously what we're doing and what we're talking about, and obviously they behave themselves, and they always have done. So I just want to say a massive thank you to all the lads that we use them down the country, and we'll always carry on using the football lads down the country,
all over the place,
wherever landed in an area.
That's a good thing, no, do you know what I mean? That's a good thing to. But I just want to say, obviously, I just want you to keep doing what you're doing. Me personally, and like many others, I just think what you're doing is fantastic.
We're never going to go away.
No, I don't think you will, and it's opened my eyes massively.
We're passionate about what we're doing.
I understood that there is certain things that go on, but I wasn't really I didn't really realise exactly how severe and how out of control this is.
Like we said before, Tony, I can't actually say certain things on here, obviously, because the podcast will be took down, but some of the sick things that these decoys and real children are obviously sent, it's that graphic and that disgusting. But what I will say as well, I was saying to Andy before, they're getting younger, they're getting younger. You can't just characterise a paedophile and go, oh, that old bloke over there with the glasses on, with the haircut and all. When you was a kid, people say, stay away from his house over there or whatever. These guys are now online are getting younger and younger and younger and younger. So there's no age limit for a predator online. They're getting younger. Some of them are good-looking lads. Some of them have got jobs, great jobs and stuff like that. You wouldn't actually believe online who's talking to children. Yeah. So you can't just say, oh, is that ugly guy or it's him. You can't profile one of these people, but they are getting younger and younger, and it's weird to watch.
Scary.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I said, we could be talking to 20 to 30 year olds. We could be talking to 50 of them in a week. Now some of them just jump on for the kicks, get the kicks off over the child, obviously, then jump back offline. But it is getting younger as well.
Yeah,
they are getting much younger as well. But it's quite scary to look at.
It's very scary. Yeah. Just before we close up and obviously finish up, should I say? Obviously, we spoke quite about, this is why we were on the podcast speaking about Elusive, and obviously on the podcast, and you've spoke very openly about an individual, Barry Burnell. Obviously, he died this week. And like I say,
good riddance.
Good riddance, yeah. And I spoke to you before we started the pod, and I didn't want to. And you said, like you said on it throughout the podcast, your feelings, obviously, what you've been over, that you've gone over this over the
the last couple of days since obviously Sean telling me and then reading it. There's been a lot of emotions, to be honest with you. First and foremost, I put it in The Athletic where I spoke to Danny Taylor. First and foremost, it's like, people need to understand and realise the destruction that man caused to me and my family. My family haven't been able to give a voice, and they wanted to, and they were just taken down as well. But when somebody grooms a family and then also rapes your sister and has 2 children with him, the impact on her children has been massive, huge. And I spoke to my sister when it had all broke, and she felt numb. I had the numbness running through me, and I'm still numb now, to be honest with you. I can't quite come to terms because I prayed for this day for 30 years. Well, it's actually 39 years. But first and foremost, it's for my family, because they've supported me. My dad's gone now, but my mum's still alive. And for my family to be destroyed by that evil predator, just for the people to know, and people will know this, that it is a life sentence. It's a life sentence for your family as well. It doesn't just affect that one person. It affects the whole family, and it can destroy a family. We have kept together. We've kept united no matter what, and it's been tough. Secondly, is those victims and survivors that had the courage to speak out after what I did. Because I put my life on the line in 2016, and if that hadn't gone the way it did go, I wouldn't be here now. I guarantee you. I'd already planned my exit. But luckily for me, it went a global tidal wave. But there's those victims that did speak out, and I could have gone to the trial, because I only give 20% of what happened to me. But this is the selfless person that I am. I wanted it to be their day in court. I wanted them to get their justice, because I'd had like 20 odd years of therapy. I did it into 1997. But those survivors must be going through quite a lot of, trauma like me. But there's also the victims that are no longer here.
Yeah.
They're in heaven, they're up there. He's down there rotting with Jimmy Savile. But there's too many lives that were lost, and something could have been done about it many years ago. I will fight until my last breath to expose those people, those organisations and institutes that were behind this. I won't stop till I get that, until I get that truth. So this is not just for me, but it's also so that people can see that this has affected a lot of people's lives, and the ripple effect on families' lives. And it will haunt me forever. You see me getting emotional.
I can see it, and I can see it, mate.
It will haunt me forever. He won't win, and he's not going to beat me. But at times, I kid you not, just this last few weeks, I've felt like going. But I've got to keep this fight going, and this beautiful man next to me, and with the Elusive and doing this, it gives me another purpose again, because they did silence me. Yet now, he is gone. It's now moving forward. It's now moving that way and not back. And I just hope those other survivors that, you know, will be struggling and will be having flashbacks, that they can reach out and speak to someone. And they're brave individuals for following me and standing up to that evil, rotten predator that I can't even call a human being.
Yeah.
And he deserves where he's gone now. And he'll never surface this earth ever again. They talk about reincarnation. There's not a chance he's coming back.
No. I just think, and, you know, you speaking out and with how so many people, you know, you've helped so many people. And I think with what you've experienced and stuff like that, I can't, you know, I can't go
I'll
through.
I'll tell you something. I tried so hard. I was global. When you break a story like that and it goes global, and I've done every magazine in every country, I've been in New York Times, you name it, never once have I had ego. I did it purely to help others, to help adults and protect children. But when you get shut down by institutes and you're on your own, it can be a very lonely place, and others know what they've done and how they've done it. But I've come back.
And try to silence you, and you're not going away.
And I'm back with this beautiful family here.
Yeah, he's part of us, and this is his voice.
That I've got a voice back. With the best voice that I've got is going out on those stings right now and facing those predators and saying, you're going down.
And so they deserve to go down. They don't deserve to go down. They deserve to be castrated. And but Andy, you know, your story, I mean, it's just it's so sad. And but to be shut down.
Yeah.
I just think it's.
Do you know, I wrote my book. They took 50% of that out. I did the film with the BBC. It's the worst decision I ever made. But in the long run, I believe in the universe, and I believe it was there. And I did the BBC for a reason, because I'm going to expose them one day. I will expose them, and they know it. I've already met them at the top. They had it all silenced, and all the cameras and all of the mics. I told them, I'm coming back. I said, Tim Westwood, oh yeah, you're under investigation now, you're under Tim Westwood. Wait till Andy Woodward comes back. They can do what they want to me. I don't care. I'll get justice. Because don't destroy someone that's trying to do the greater good and get rid of my film, and they still won't give me a copy to this date. My film, my rights, they still won't give me a copy. That ain't right.
Mad, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
It's powerful, but it's true. And everything I say on here and everything I've said has been truth. Nothing but the truth.
And I just want to say thank you very much, and you know, for obviously you're very emotional and stuff like that, and I think you're a very strong individual, the same as yourself, Sean, obviously what you've experienced and stuff like that.
It's been tough to come on here to do this.
And listen,
just in a few days after he's dead.
I can't thank you enough for coming on. And
I'm not saying it for that reason. No. Just saying to you, but this is what we are. We're warriors. Yeah. You're a warrior. The other guy here, we're warriors to make a difference.
Yeah.
We don't want this to be hidden away. We want to make a difference at any cost.
Yeah, 100%. And we're not going to be silenced anymore. Like I said, Andy, now, if you want something to say on our page, Andy can go on our page and say what he wants, but we are going to stand together as Elusive family. Andy's got his own thing going on, but he's still part of our Elusive family, and we're going to carry on forward. We're going to keep going out, we're going to keep exposing these monsters in society. We're not going to give up. And Andy is going to join us on that journey, 100%.
I'm on this journey, but also my family are here, so everything I do will be in alignment with Elusive.
Yeah.
And we'll align together, and that becomes more powerful, doesn't it?
Of course it does. I just want to say, guys, listen, that's been a very, very powerful podcast. I just want to say from myself, Chris, thank you very much for sharing the good, the bad,
thank you, Tony.
and the ugly.
Thanks
very much.
Thanks very much, Tony.
Thank you.
Cheers, Tony. Thank you.
Cheers.
This week's episode is sponsored by Zorb Events Limited. They provide Zorb football, battle tag archery, UV dodgeball, sports days events, inflatable assault courses, plus many, many more activities coming soon. Ideal for sports teams, presentations, birthday parties, stag and hen parties, corporate events, school and half-term summer camps, any occasions. Give them a follow and use the code The Good, The Bad and The Ugly Podcast for 10% off your first booking. The Good, The Bad and The Ugly Podcast with Tony Morell.